which gave us a profit of £65,000 a year. It was actually 55 at the time. That's gone up now at 65,000, 26% ROI at the time. And in the last 8 years, we just got a revaluation of this at 1.33 million. So we made roughly about, what, 600,000 on just capital growth. It's almost pretty much doubled in the last 8 years. Plus we've made the 65k a year, which I think it totals about 140k a year we've made on this.
I'm going to come to our final guest presenter, who's a little, we managed to squeeze him into this. Hopefully he's going to be there. So all the way from Mexico, hello, Tim, Dr. Tim Percival. Hello.
Morning. Well, it's afternoon there, isn't it?
We had to make us jealous for showing that background there. Was looks like some,
to be honest,
palm trees.
My wife's asleep, Simon, so I had to come outside.
So what time is it there?
It's just about 7:30 in the morning, something like that. The sun has just come up.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Tim. And Tim, tell us what you're doing over in. I know, but tell us what you're doing over in Mexico.
So I've got married in August last year, and I was a bit busy last year, and now I've just come out for a 3-week honeymoon out in Mexico. So the last week's just been in this amazing place here. That's the Pacific behind me. So we're just on our way back to Mexico City later on this morning, and then home again.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for taking a bit of time out of your honeymoon to come and share. And I want to, because you have a particular deal, a mega deal, which is just an amazing deal. And again, you've just followed the formula we have, and you've been persistent, and it's a great deal. And I know we don't have any slides for this, but let's talk through this deal. So,
I did try. In the background, I just tried to sort of put together a little slide for you. I don't know whether you want me to.
Okay, great. Well, share. Yeah, if you've got that, share that. That's great. So if you've got some to share, that's.
Yeah. Did you want me to give a little background first into who I am?
I'd love you to give. Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah. So just a minute or so on your background, what you did before property, and how and why you got into property.
Morning everyone. I'm Tim Percival. I'm a property investor and developer based in Bristol. I've got a large portfolio of professional co-living properties built up since 2014. I've got a property management and maintenance company, and I've done a large new build development recently. I'm also a coach on MMA and the Mastermind program. But about 9 years ago, 2014, I was a busy, stressed, working professional. Mental health was suffering badly, and I never saw my family. And at the time, my mum was dying of cancer, and I had my light bulb moment, came on Mastermind, MMA. And 18 months later, I'm happy to say I managed to triple Simon's target and able to leave the day job. Which a lot of people are surprised was an NHS doctor. Was a full-time doctor split between GP and gynecology. And although, it's a lucky, privileged job, it's also a very stressful job. And property's now given me the choice to move and have to develop my property business. And I did go back to being a GP for a while, and actually I've pretty much stopped doing that as well now, because I enjoy my life like this now. So that's a little bit about me, Simon.
Yeah. I guess there's no way, if you were still a GP, no way you would be able to take 3 weeks for a honeymoon, would there?
No. My life's so much better now. I mean, it's just so much less stressful, and we all have a few stressful days, but it's just fantastic now.
Yeah, so brilliant. And so tell us about this deal. If you want to share some slides, that's great. So what I'd love to know is, as we were saying, that mega deals are probably not going to be your first. I think wasn't this your 4th or 5th deal you did when you were on Mastermind?
It was my 6th deal. So this is if anyone knows Bristol, they might know the suspension bridge on the right there.
Yep.
Can you see the stuff in the middle here that's blocking it? This share. Can you see that okay?
We can see the picture on the left of the house and the picture on the right with the first thing, the Clifton suspension bridge.
Great, so you can see under the suspension bridge there's a row of Georgian houses, some of the oldest houses in Bristol, and on the left-hand side you can see that's one of them. It's a 5-story Georgian property. And back in Mastermind, I you said to us, Simon, didn't you? Like, taught us to look out for student let signs, look out for maybe slightly tired properties, and then you taught us about landlord letters. So I used to drive past this property all the time, and it always had a student let sign outside it. So I went to the council, got the HMO licensing list, and lo and behold, there it was, 16-bed student HMO, just lying there. So I wrote a letter to the company. Turns out company was a Midlands based student property company, and the week before, they'd had a meeting to say that this was out of their area. It was a bit of a pain in the butt, and they were actually thinking of selling it, but it was still off market. So my letter landed on their on their doorstep, and we organized a meeting at the property, still off market, got on incredibly well with the owners of this property, and they let it slip that it filled amazingly well, and said that they were the rent on the property was £340 a month, when the market rent in Bristol at the time was about 550. So I was thinking, well, no wonder you can fill it well. So long story short, we managed to get an off-market deal on this for 720,000. I'm just going to move my slides on, Simon, so we can have a little, there's a few little bits I've got down here. So we purchased it for 720,000, which all we did is we took it on. Next intake of students, we put the rents up by 50%, up to 500 to 550, which gave us a profit of £65,000 a year. It was actually 55 at the time, that's gone up now at 65,000, 26% ROI at the time. And deposit, it was an expensive property. Most of the time, at that time, I was a bit like, whoa, that's really expensive. Is that going to work? But actually, because of the amount of bedrooms, it worked, and we managed to put deposit down to 216. And what was great is that it was none of my own money at this point. I'd run out of my own money after deal 4 or 5, and this is one of the first deals I used other people's money. So it was effectively an infinite return on this one. And it was in okay condition. So to add value, all I had to do on this project, I didn't really have to do much to it. All we've done is put in a new heating system for about 30k in the whole last 8 years. It rents brilliantly, and to spend hardly anything on it. And all it was a transaction of the property, and we refilled it again. So it was an incredibly easy property to do, Simon.
Absolutely, but slightly scary because it was an expensive fee. But as you quite, so there was no creative finance there. You had to put that several £100,000 deposit in, which would have put a lot of people off. But because you'd run out of money, but you did what we said about using other people's money, you were able to borrow the money, give the people you're borrowing the money from a really good return. You got 20% ROI. There's plenty of profit there for you and for them as well. And haven't you, because we spoke about this recently, so obviously you just literally increased the rents, and you've had it revalued recently as well, haven't you? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it gets better actually, because this is 8 years ago. So we've recently done a portfolio revaluation. So we got this, it's a commercial property, so we got it commercially revalued, and in the last 8 years we just got a revaluation of this at 1.33 million. So we made roughly about 600,000 on just capital growth. It's almost pretty much doubled in the last 8 years, plus we've made the 65k a year, which I think it totals about 140k a year we've made on this, but per year once you take capital growth and the profit. So round about a million we've made, something like that on this.
So this one deal has been worth well over £1 million to you.
Yes.
From a landlord. Who would have thought it, eh? Who would have thought it? Wow. Brilliant.
I still look at it to this day, Simon, and think, wow, it really is an incredible deal. And it's sort of educated luck, isn't it? You have a bit of luck, but also if you don't actually take action, just like Michael was talking about, he did a landlord letter as well, didn't he? These things do work, but the numbers game, Yeah.
It isn't it? And so it's not just one letter, it's lots of letters sent out, but these are the kind, if you get these kind of results, it just makes it worth it all day long, right? So brilliant case study. And Tim, have you got maybe 1 or 2 tips, like other people who are looking to do these mega deals? What would be 1 or 2 words of advice or tips you'd give them, please?
I think I always say the same thing to people is keep it simple. Just keep it simple, keep to a strategy that works, and don't be frightened of the extra zero maybe, or the increased price, as long as the numbers work. And you teach people, Simon, very simply how to work out numbers. You don't need to be frightened of this kind of thing. And the other thing I come across as a coach a lot, the biggest problem is, where do I get the money from? Where's the money coming? How am I going to get investors? As though you're begging. And I don't know, where a lot of people here might have heard you talk about the fact you're not begging to investors, that you're providing an incredibly valuable service to them, and the money is out there and the money will be there, and you just need to get over yourselves, and I suppose, and just go out there and look for it. And when you have a good deal, the money will be there for you. That's having faith, I think. But just keep it simple, and trust the process. The stuff you teach, Simon, really does work, and it's changed my life completely. And just do it. Just do the simple stuff that you're taught.
And keep on doing it. We're not saying it's easy. You got to be persistent. No. It's a numbers game. But it all starts with you getting educated first and get out there and taking action. And on that note, I mean, it's great, Tim, that you now help out. You come and volunteer to help at our 3-day mastermind Accelerator. You're one of our coaches as well. Obviously, we pay you to be a coach, but you don't need the money, right? But I know you do, because you love helping and sharing. Because I'm going to talk to people about Mastermind Accelerator in a moment. Do you just want to share with people what, I mean, obviously this is a great 3-day course, but this is just about HMOs. Whereas on Mastermind Accelerator, we pretty much cover everything from Mastermind, not in the detail we've done here because we don't have the time, but enough to get going. So what was your experience of doing Mastermind Accelerator, coming from that corporate life that you were really stressed about? You were being a GP, you were stuck in that rut, so you thought. What did Mastermind Accelerator do for you?
I can't stress enough that the reason I wanted to come back and be a coach on MMA was because it profoundly changed me so much. I literally came along, I was mentally struggling. I desperately needed to get out of my job. And I remember seeing this course and thinking, who is this bloke, Simon Zutshi? And I thought, well, I'm going to go and try him out. I'm going to go to this course. And I just booked it and thought, I'm going to go on this 3 days. By the end of it, my whole mind had blown in a good way. All I did was own my own house. And suddenly I came away realizing I can do this. I can get out of that job. And it was the catalyst, really. It teaches you everything, all the basics of property investing, and it makes you believe that you can do it. And then obviously I joined Mastermind after, which gives you the support and accountability. But those 3 days were totally transformative in me. And I remember coming to you afterwards, Simon, saying, look, I did really want a mastermind. I want to come back on that program because I had such great feelings about it. And it really is those 3 days, if anything, I could pinpoint which was the 3 days which changed my life for the better. So, if anyone's considering it, just do it. I love teaching on it. We have a great 3 days. We have so much fun. It's hard work because we're working from dawn till dusk, aren't we? Till bedtime nearly, Simon. But it's great fun, and we give everything. And come along, give it a try.
Brilliant. And the final thing I want to ask you about is coaching, because obviously you've trained as one of our coaches now, and you help people in our mastermind program, and people can get coaching separately as well. But how important, because people have knowledge and they can know what to do, but sometimes that's not enough for some people. How do you see coaching from someone who's experienced it when you're on Mastermind, but now someone who's actually helping coach people on their journey through Mastermind? What's your thoughts around coaching? How important is it, do you think?
It's the single most important thing. After you've done your MMA, I went on to Mastermind. If you remember, Simon, I paid up early and got some extra coaching before I started the actual Mastermind in the October. And I was like a rabbit in headlights after MMA. Once I got over the initial, like, wow, this is incredible, I was like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. And Paul Merrison, my coach, who was one of the coaches on MMA, just helped me just to sort of calm me down, focus, help me just to structure what my strategy was going to be, and then supported me the whole way through Mastermind. I think the theory of property is incredibly simple in many ways, Simon, the ROI and all that sort of stuff, but actually when you get into doing deals, it can be incredibly stressful. It's hard work setting properties up, and I think you need that support. It's vitally important. I still get coached myself. I'm still investing in myself because I see how important that is. It was the single most important part of my Mastermind program, without a doubt, was those 2 weekly calls from Paul and that relationship I built with him. So
fantastic.
And it's the reason I
Fantastic.
come back now, Simon, is because yeah, I don't need the money in all honesty, but I really enjoy supporting people and giving back and giving people what I had, because that really was so important in my life.
Yeah, I think it's, as you know, my father was a GP as well. I know that's certain character. You've got to want to help other people to be able to be that kind of person to do that kind of career, really. So it's great. You're not being a GP anymore, but you're now still helping people in a different way. So it's great to have you here. And you better go back and join your wife now. Enjoy the rest of your honeymoon, and hope
she's joined me out here, so I'm all right now. Yeah, thanks.
Say hello to her for us then. Hi, Layla.
She's waving at you.
Say hello.
All right.
Okay, fair enough. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for sharing, and thanks for being so inspirational. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you, Layla.
Cheers.
All the best.
Thanks.
Right, let's thank them, guys. Awesome. I do hope you got massive value from watching that inspirational case study. Hope you took lots of notes and start using some of the hints and tips in your property investing journey. Now, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever we bring out new content and training that's going to help you be a more successful investor. If you got any comments, just list those below, and I'll come back and answer as many as I can. And by the way, there's going to be a link below for you to get some further training so you can find out how you can get the kind of results we've just been talking about in this interview. As ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. See you in the next video we've lined up for you.